I think I have too many. Today we're going to do a day in the life. I have a day off from work, so I don't have to do that today. But I have some errands to run. I'm going to go wash my car. And then I have to stop at Michael's. So yeah, let's get started. Before we do anything else, I have to do my laundry. All right, trying to get everything ready to go, which is ridiculous. So this is all of my camera equipment. This is actually a cute little bag that I made that I had a whole video on, and I just realized this morning that I lost it. So that's fun. So I don't know what happened. Something happened with the SD card, and now it's gone. So anyway, I'm buying a new SD card for sure. I'm going to wash my car, so I'm going to take this, and then I need to go get some more milk. So I'm going to take those, and then later I'm going to clean the island off because, yeah, it's a disaster. All right, so let's go. It's such a beautiful day today. It's always days like this, usually while I'm driving, that I realize how happy I am just to be. Most of the time, I'm worried about work, or I'm planning something, or making a list of things that I have to do. But for a few moments, driving down the road, I can stop and appreciate the beauty of the moment and really, truly be happy. That could also be because I'm headed to Starbucks. That always makes me happy too. This is also a perfect opportunity for me to show you again how my car parks itself. It's my favorite feature. I love it. Alright, so now that I have my coffee in hand, I'm driving through one of my favorite towns on the South Shore, which is called Hingham. There's a lot of really old houses in this area, and they're so huge and so gorgeous. I love driving through here. So now we're coming into another one of my favorite towns, which is called Hull. It's also where Nantasket Beach is. I used to live on Nantasket Beach and I absolutely loved it. It's so gorgeous. It's such a pretty beach, and the best part about it is that there's only a lot of people in this town during the summer. And the summertime in Massachusetts is like June, July, and August. So, other than that, there's nobody around, and it's just such a beautiful beach. There's still a lot of really nice beach days. And for me, a nice beach day is like 50, 60 degrees. I'll still be walking out on the beach. I'm not going to be swimming, but I'll still be walking out there. I had hopes that I could move back down here as well, but I don't know. I think maybe those hopes are fading a little bit. The cost of houses in Massachusetts is just unbelievable. So incredibly expensive. And it seems like it just keeps going up and up and up. There are these condos that I've been reading about. They've been planning on building them a couple of years now at least, and they're finally starting to go up. And all of the papers that I read said that they were going to be quote unquote reasonably priced for the area. So they finally put up a sign that offered more information, and there was a phone number, and I called and they sent me this flyer, which, so I just have to stop and say that I work in marketing. That's my full-time job, but I'm also a graphic designer. So when I see things that are like this, it's kind of like fingernails on a chalkboard. I think it's just really, really interesting that they're asking so much money for these condos. And this is the kind of literature that they send out. Anyway, I'll stop complaining about it now. I promise. So this is what the condos are going to look like. I'm a little bit concerned about the design. I think it looks a little bit like 1980s. I don't know, maybe that's what they're going for. There's not going to be very many condos in this building, which is probably a good thing. But there's definitely not very many one bedrooms, which, I would like to have a 2-bedroom or even a 3-bedroom, but I knew they would be out of my price range. So here's the square footage of the condos. You'll notice that the smallest one is 697 square feet. That's for a 1-bedroom. And when I was on the phone with the guy, I asked him how much they were, and he's like, well, we're actually thinking about $1,200 a square foot. So I was trying to do the math really quick in my head, and I knew that it would be really high, but I wasn't really thinking $836,000 for a 1-bedroom, or as much as like $1.1 million for a 1-bedroom. So yeah, unfortunately, those are way outside of my price range, so that's not going to happen. I'm just going to have to enjoy the beach like a normal povo who can't afford a $1.1 million condo. Not only is it $1.1 million, but I just want to say it's 945 square feet. That's the biggest one that you can get. That's 1 bedroom. So yeah, absolutely not. I don't even want to know how much the other ones are. Way too much. Anyway, I digress. As I was saying, Nantasket Beach is one of my favorite beaches in Massachusetts. I absolutely love it. It's so gorgeous. And there's not really very many people here today. Generally, especially on the weekends, you cannot find a parking spot here. So the fact that there were some open parking spots, yeah, it's a good day. So after a quick stop at the beach, I am headed to wash my car. It's about 85 degrees out today, so hopefully it won't be too bad. I've never been one of those people who likes to wash my car. It's really just not my thing. I like to have a nice car and I like for it to be washed, but I'm scared of like the drive-through car washes, so I don't want to do that. Um, but it's always, for me, it's such a hassle to wash my car. I was never, ever, ever one of those people who would like spray some type of a special wax or would hand dry my car. But then I bought a Tesla and I really love it and it's absolutely gorgeous and I really hate it when it's dirty. So yeah, now I'm one of those people. Go here, service, car wash mode. Car wash mode. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's not too bad. So, of course, my GoPro died. I can't seem to buy enough batteries for my poor little GoPro. But this is the Michaels that I'm running into real quick. I have to get some supplies for another video that I'm going to do sometime soon. Is there 12 of those? I don't really want 12. Ah. Maybe like those. Maybe those. Maybe these just because they're super cute. Now we just have to pick the colors. Oh my god. Okay. I think I have too many. Okay, so we're finally headed home, thankfully. I am so tired and so hot and so ready to be home now. All right, so my GoPro died, but I have a backup. So my car's all plugged in, and now I'm just going upstairs. Probably stop and get the mail first. But there she is. Now that I have been outside, I see that there's a lot of streaks. Boy, it looks bad. Okay, I know I look like a hot, sweaty mess. It was like 80 degrees outside trying to wash my car, and I'm really upset that it's so streaky. I didn't notice it until I got to Michael's, and I thought, oh, there's a little bit of streaks, but it's not that bad. And then I get home, and it's like, yeah, it's really bad. So that's a tomorrow project because I'm so hot and I feel awful. I hate being hot. Like I have to go take a shower as soon as I get hot. Yeah, so I am gonna actually start some pizza dough because it has to raise for like an hour, and it's like 4 o'clock. So my niece usually gets home about 5:30, and she likes to eat as soon as she gets home. So we're on the early bird schedule. So yeah, I'm gonna mix up some pizza dough, so I'll show you how I make it. First I have to move my KitchenAid mixer, which is a beast. People don't tell you how difficult it is to vlog something and like try to get all the right shots, but still, you know, still just like do what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so that goes on there. That's the dough hook. It's going up there, and we will start the water going so it gets hot. It has to be 110 to 115 degrees. And then the yeast that I keep in the freezer so it stays good. And then we have sugar and flour. The flour that I get is special because it comes straight from Italy. And that's important. In the United States, there's like 90 chemicals that are allowed that are banned in Europe. So if you get flour from Italy, it's less processed and it tastes a lot better. You have to try it, just trust me. I know it sounds really weird, but the flour that we get here tastes like straight chemicals. So we buy our flour from Italy. And it's not really that expensive either. It sounds expensive getting it from Italy, but it's really not. It might be a little bit. I mean, we buy it from Amazon, and it comes in like 11 pound bags, I think. All right, so I have a thermometer. Gonna test the water, see if it's hot enough. It feels too hot, actually. So we'll let that decide if it's hot enough. And then we're gonna put the sugar in. So I usually do 1 tablespoon of yeast and like 2.5 tablespoons of sugar. That helps the yeast bloom. I think that's what you call it. Helps it like activate. Okay, so the water says 123, which is way too hot. So then what we do when it's way too hot is we put some of our fancy pebble ice in there. And hopefully I have an ice machine over there. That's what I was getting. So now there's ice in there. Well, there's not anymore because it's gone. So you got to mix it up quite a bit. And it says 110, but it's like falling. See, now it says 108. So I actually put too much ice in there, which is not shocking. We will go back and put some more hot water in there. And you got to mix it up to make sure that it's mixed. I know this sounds a little bit fussy, especially if you don't cook, but if the yeast isn't the right temperature, then it won't bloom. It won't activate, I guess. And then your pizza dough won't rise and it won't be any good. So it says 109.6, and I'm sure most people would be totally fine with that. But I'm just going to add a little bit more hot water just to make sure. Because it needs to be between 110 and 115. So we'll just make sure. Double, triple check. Cup. And now it is 112. I don't know if you can see that. It's 112. Okay. So that's good. We'll pour the water in here, which you can't see because the camera's not doing its thing correctly. All right, and now we wait. All right, so it looks really good. It's activated. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So that's good. Okay. I'm going to move you over here to a different thing. And get the flour going. So this is my fancy flour from Italy. I know there's a lot of people that are into like the OXO things, and I actually have some of them. When Bed Bath & Beyond was going out of business, I bought a whole bunch of them. Hold on. Spin you around. There you go. So I bought all of these, right? And there's two different kinds because I bought some of them at TJ Maxx and they were different. See the lids? Yeah, that irritates the crap out of me. I hate that they're different. But what I found was, I don't know if this is true for all of them. I doubt it is because everybody loves them. They are not airtight. And some of the stuff that I put in them turned out to go bad pretty quickly. So I was really upset with that. And so I bought these. Now, I know this is kind of weird because I'm sort of young to be a part of the Tupperware generation, but they're Tupperware. You can see that. I love Tupperware. I am not sponsored by Tupperware, but I would love to be if you know somebody who works at Tupperware. I could be a great brand ambassador because as you can see, I have tons of Tupperware. It's literally everywhere. These are Tupperware. Aren't these so cute? I love those. Yeah, I have it everywhere. It's back there too. There's more flour back there. I have so much of it, I don't have enough room to store all of it. So anyway, I bought these because I know that they are watertight and they're airtight and I love them. I wish that they were kind of a different color. I like red. As you can tell, my car is red, my phone is red. I don't mind this color. They're kind of a blue color. They look sort of black, but they're kind of blue. And you know that they're blue because I have these, which are spice containers that are black. And I don't know if you can see, they're kind of a different color. So I want to set the spice containers beside them. And it really won't bother me that much. But it bothers Carly, my niece. So yeah, the spice containers have to sit in the cupboard because she can't handle blue and black together, which I don't really blame her. It is kind of weird, but that's that. Okay, so We're doing 2.5, probably almost 3 cups of flour by the time we put the oil in. I'm not super precise because I've made this recipe so many times and I know that there's a lot of variance in it. And then we're going to do 2 other things. So we're going to do garlic powder and onion powder, and then I have a secret ingredient. This is called black truffle garlic seasoning. It's from the Spice and Tea Exchange. And as you can see, the bottle is like super worn because I've had this for a while. It came from, there's a store in Mashpee, Massachusetts, but you can get it at spiceandtea.com. It's in this because I've bought several things of it now and I don't want it to go bad. It tastes so good. It's like secret ingredient. Okay, so we'll do 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, and it's like I said, it's not like super precise. Me cooking. And we'll do like 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. This is 1/4, by the way. And then close this back up. And then this is super cute. It comes with its own little measuring scoop. So I think that's a tablespoon and that's a teaspoon. So we'll do like a teaspoon of this, which is, oh, it smells so good. I absolutely love it. Okay, so that's that. Then we're gonna raise the bowl up and turn this on and let it mix for a little while. So I did 2 cups of flour. We'll probably do another 1/2 cup. And then I put some oil in there too. And the oil that I use as well, we try to get the stuff from Italy. And you know that it's from Italy because it says packed in Italy. So don't be fooled by just the label. Sometimes they'll have a label on them that says like something about Italy, but you want to make sure that it's packed in Italy or that it's packaged in Italy. And I think the recipe says like 4 tablespoons or something. I never do that much. I just sort of eyeball it. It tastes so much different too when it comes from Italy. I mean, if you've never bought the expensive olive oil, and it's really not that expensive, honestly, I'd buy it at TJ Maxx sometimes. And then there's this other store which is called Fresh Market, which is super expensive, but they have a lot of really good stuff. So I usually let that mix for like 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know exactly all the details, but I know that there's something about, I know there's something about pizza dough and the gluten needing to be activated in the flour or something like that. So you're supposed to let it knead for a little while. We'll put a little bit more flour in there. And then basically what you're looking for is you want it to pull away from the sides, but you still want it to be a little bit sticky. Not like a lot sticky, but a little bit sticky. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I turned it up a little bit higher and just so that it would mix a little bit faster. And so you can see it's pulling away from the sides and it's still kind of sticky. And this is where it's like you sort of have to eyeball it. Like, is it too sticky? Is it sticky enough? We're also going to put some olive oil in the bottom when we let it rise. So we'll see. I think it looks pretty good, actually. All right, so I'm gonna turn the oven on, maybe. I'm gonna turn the oven on to 350, and we will let this continue to do its thing. And then we'll just put some olive oil in the bottom and we'll let it rise. And I don't know if you can see, maybe I'll slow it down a little bit. It's just sort of like sticking to the bottom just a little bit, which that's pretty good. It looks really, really clean. So it's been mixing for a little while, and I have a different type of olive oil that's easier to open. So we're just gonna pour a little bit of this in the bottom, and then we'll turn it off. And then we just want to mix the olive oil so that it's on the top and the bottom. And okay, so then we take it off. Then I'm gonna let it sit here on the stove, and I'm gonna cover it with a towel. Okay, so then it's gonna rise for about an hour, and right now it is 4:30, so that's perfect timing. It should be done right about when my niece gets home. So that's good. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower because I still feel like a hot mess from washing my car. And yeah, then it'll probably be time for pizza. All right. Here is what the pizza looks like after it's all assembled. It looks really, really good. And we're just gonna stick it in the oven real quick. It bakes for 20 minutes. And here's the finished product. I can't wait. It looks so amazing. So the last thing that I'm gonna do today is I am working on a quilt. It's funny to me, it seems a little bit like I'm getting like super old. I've recently adopted all of these old lady habits. If there's anybody who's still in their 30s who's interested in sewing, please let me know in the comments. I would like to know that it's not just me. I feel like this is one of those habits that just older people do. And maybe it's because my grandma liked to sew and my great grandma liked to sew, which is where I got the idea for this particular project. So I have a bunch of quilts that both my grandma and my great grandma made, and some of them need some TLC. And I don't want to just jump into fixing some of their quilts because it's really all that I have left. They didn't really leave me a lot of things. And the quilts are really important to me, so I don't want to ruin them. So I thought, it's been a while since I've sewn. I learned how to sew when I was like 18. And now that I'm more than twice that, I wanted to make sure that I still remember how to sew. So I bought a sewing machine, and I thought, well, what better way to learn how to fix a quilt than to make a quilt? So I put this pattern together, and I've played with literally about 12 or 15 different patterns. I think I'm just fussing over it and being ridiculous, to be quite honest. But now I'm cutting out all of the pieces and making sure that I have everything together, and then assembling the rows as well. This is something that I found has helped me a lot. I tend to get stuck in my head just thinking and thinking and thinking and overthinking. And especially since I've gotten this job that I have now, I've been there for about 2 years, and it's a great job and I absolutely love it. But there's so much stress, and there's so many projects that we have to do, and so much stuff that I'm responsible for, that it leaves me being stressed out and worried and just overthinking all of the work problems constantly. And I hate doing that. So I needed something to do to get out of my head. And to really engage more of my sensing parts of my personality. And working with my hands has really helped that. I can just focus on cutting squares that are 5 inches by 5 inches, or assembling them together, or, focusing on what the pattern should look like. It helps me to de stress and to focus on something else. And it also helps me to feel like I'm accomplishing something. I'm surprised because there really isn't anything else that I've found that I can do that will get my mind off of work. Even if I'm watching a movie or watching videos on YouTube or sometimes even talking to other people, I still find my mind wandering back to the stuff that I have going on at work. But this is the one thing that I can do where I can just forget about everything else and just focus on the task at hand. So it's helped me a lot and I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. And I'm sure that there are a lot more projects to come.